Hey y'all, welcome to the inaugural version of Pauly's Speed Shop. I'm bringing this video to you today because I was out for a walk this afternoon in my neighborhood, and this was leaning up against one of the trash cans at one of the houses as I went by. So this is a member of the free pile. It's a Troy-Bilt 4-stroke string trimmer. It's got, let's see, it's got jump start technology, which is the little springy thingy that's part of the, it makes it easier to start, basically. We'll probably get into it later. It's got a full tank of gas, pretty much. So I was curious, and it was free, so I grabbed it and figured I could take it apart, see if I could fix it, and try and make a video out of it. So let's go try and do that. All right, so here she is on my way too small for a string trimmer bench. I have literally just touched this thing. I brought it home, I gave it a couple of pulls, and it turned over, but it sounded horrible. And I'll demonstrate that to you. Oh, that one actually sounded pretty good. Yeah, there we go. So that jerks the string pretty good. So I think there's probably something wrong inside this springy, easier to use pull start. I don't know what was wrong with the original ones, but that's one potential problem. I haven't been in the oil yet. There's oil down there, and it doesn't look terrible. I don't think there's any issue with that. I'll probably, if I get it running, I'll change it. The throttle works fine. Come on, throttle seems to work fine. It actuates back there. Haven't touched the quick change kind of deal. Sorry for the horrible crunching and creaking noises. This tripod is probably not the best. This is all kind of dirty. This may be the biggest problem. This may not be a problem, but this may be the biggest problem that we face here. This is completely locked solid. And there is a little bit of, let me show you, there's a little bit of what looks like oil residue down there. So I'm not sure if this case is split. Actually that looks like exactly what happened. It looks like somebody dropped it right there. Like these two lines should be straight. Like there should be no bump there. Like that's actually pushed into the gears. So that's probably the biggest problem with this whole thing. And honestly, had I noticed that, had I given this a turn, I probably wouldn't have picked it up. But that could be really interesting. You know, it's just got screws that hold it together. So this could be really interesting to try and open up and see what's inside. So I don't know. Do we want to start at this end or do we want to start at that end? Let's find out. Okay, so we went for the front. This is just easier to have up on the bench. So during the pause, I took the face pieces off of this and took the string out just to make it a little easier. Try and get this head apart. It was surprisingly easy, actually. You guys are, I don't really know how that went. You guys are keeping track on how this is going back together, right? Nice. Okay, I'll mess with that later. That spring goes in there. All right. And I don't really know if that's going to be able to come off. I think really what I want to do is get these two halves apart. If I can, spray them with a little bit of WD-40 too. Sorry, I knocked you there. you know what? That may let this whole thing come off. That did a lot of wobbling. Will that? Nope. Just kidding. It's not going to be that easy, all right? The other reason I want to go in this side is if we find catastrophic damage here, which we can't even, you know, think about bodging back together, do we really want to go? Do we really want to go any further? I suppose I could make this into a, you know, I could use the four-stroke engine as a bike motor or something like that, but I don't currently have a bike to put a motor on, so that would involve, you know, purchasing extra stuff in order to use the free string trimmer that I found, and that sounds, even for me, that sounds a little silly. All right, brute force, right? That's how these come apart. Been waiting to take this out because I wasn't really sure what it is, but I don't think we're going to get away with. It's 1, 2, 3. I'm trying to count the number of turns in case this is an adjustment of some sort. No, it's not. It holds it. Okay. Ah, yeah, just like that. And now it's off. Please hold. Okay, now that this is apart, or now that it's off the head, let's try to get this thing apart. It is still pretty well held together by something that I don't see yet, apparently. I wonder if these are actually pinching things that they're not supposed to be pinching. I don't want to, you know, I don't want to forever break this thing, but ooh, there it's, oh, we're now in a mode where this will rotate. It wasn't doing that before, so I'll take that as a small victory. I wonder if we will be able to, I hope that's in focus, tap you, make everything go boing. I wonder if we will be able to get that sort of sealed up, you know, even if we can seal that with RTV, and get it good enough. Oh, that might help. What do you think that is? 5/8? Am I crazy? Is there no way that's going to be metric? Guess we'll find out. All right, so 3/4 fit perfectly. So did 19mm. But I've been working on an old Lincoln recently, so we're gonna stick with Imperial here, or US. SAE. There we go. There's the correct. What do you say we stick something in there? Yep. What do you say we stick something in there and put this in a terrible vise? Please hold. That's better. This is definitely not a professional vise setup, but it's what I've got right now. We'll make do with what we got. Right. Actually not right. Left hand thread. I felt it snug up. I'm just gonna ruin this thing, aren't I? This should be done with Troy-Bilt Special Service Tool 00-627, also known as a slightly smaller flathead screwdriver, I think. See, told you. All right, here's the challenge. There we go. That. Again, y'all are taking notes, right? Don't need to worry about that. And yeah, so that ring would be the reason why it wasn't coming apart before. Ooh, yum. There's a lot of things to try to not let get in there, and hopefully not let get on my floor either, because that's gross. Okay, so this grease does not look all that bad. Doesn't look contaminated. Doesn't look nasty. No. Okay, yep. So there's your view. Let me make sure that looks right. There's your view of what happened here. So somebody got this thing really hard and just broke the aluminum case on it. So I think we can acceptably fix that and at least try this thing out for a little while. If not, put this back together and make it work for somebody. So let's see. So I pretty much have this to a place where it will sit into this housing where it's supposed to be, and where it is flat to this surface, which is where these two pieces meet. So that will have, you know, if the JB weld dries, I'll be able to file that down a little bit, but I really do want to try and get that pretty flat. So I'm feeling pretty confident with that we can get that done. I'll try and do the second one. I'll try and capture some video of going into the other one and trying to get it cleaned up into where, you know, I haven't even gotten that little piece off. I assume it'll break off just like this, but this side is my next move here. Okay, so since the break, several important pivotal things have happened. Probably the most important of which is I completely lost the smaller chunk for this side. It fell on the floor. I didn't really get a good look of where it went. My aluminum magnet, which the bridge salesman sold to me a while ago at great expense, did not work, and I'm still kind of pissed off about that. But anyway, I wasn't able to find the other piece to this. So we're going to be shooting to kind of have this float in the middle and see just how nice and big a gap JB Weld can hold. I'm pretty confident that if we get it at the right consistency, that this will still do okay. But we'll see. These also got cleaned up. I didn't do anything fancy with them. I hit them with brake clean. Got most of the grease out of here, which was mostly important because there were metal particles from me doing filing in the grease, so that needed to go away. I cleaned up the outside too with a bronze brush or a brass brush. So this looks, you know, not showroom fresh, but a whole lot better than it did before. And without losing the pieces, essentially that is the hole that we're filling with two cracked off pieces of aluminum and JB Weld. So let's see how this goes, shall we? All right, so one more update. Looked around, I could have sworn I had some JB Weld here. And I cannot find where I put my JB Weld, or maybe I was just imagining things. Either way, now I am, it's late. Every store's closed that would have JB Weld other than Walmart, and I try to give myself reasons not to go to Walmart rather than reasons to run out late at night to Walmart and spend money. So I ended up on the Google machine and looked around and determined that the transmission assembly for that trimmer is about 24 bucks. So, faced with spending several dollars on JB Weld, or spending $24 on an entire new head that is pretty much guaranteed to bolt right on and work. To fix the bottom of this, I think I'm gonna be buying the little transmission. I'm very much not a shill kind of person. But I will shout them out by name. I went on Jack's Small Engines, which seems to be the best site out there for trying to find parts. And it's right there. It's on eBay too, so I've got a couple of choices. So with that in mind, I'm probably going to buy that tonight. But before I do, I want to get into this guy and see we can identify why this is making that noise. So it's going to be within this starter assembly, and this is kind of buried, so I'm going to drain the gas out of this, and we will start looking. Give me just 1 minute to find a clean container to get this gas into. We'll be right back. All right, so the gas smelled pretty bad. Oh yeah, there's one other thing that I learned here too. So jump start. I thought that was Troy-Bilt's terminology for the springy type of starter, and I am pretty sure I was wrong. Jump start. There's a little port here with something. I don't doubt you can see in there, but trust me when I say that is not a the rest of it's put together with Torx. That is not a Torx in there. It's something proprietary, but it's an electric start. You can buy a little roto starter for this thing if you so choose. I'm not going to, but I would like the option to, use my drill or something to do that with. But anyway, let's try and get down into here a little bit. Almost everything on here is put together with these weird combo flathead Torx bits, so I'm just going to start zipping those off.
Those two? Yeah. Nope.
Need the long boy. I think there's a Torx down there. Maybe not. Yep, there is. Yeah, there is. Yep, there it is. Excuse me. Maybe that isn't what I thought it was. Maybe this isn't what I thought it was. This isn't a T25. Yes, it is. Then what's this? A T25. How? There's multiple sizes of Torx. Give me 1 moment, please. Okay, I was just about to give Troy-Bilt some serious brownie points for making this really easy to get apart. And I get to take them back now because that's not true. I thought this was all T25 bits, and for some reason that I don't think I'll be able to figure out, they've used T25 and T20 and probably some other stuff too. Yeah, see, that's like T10? What the hell is that? And that's what... Alright, this is going to be just as much fun to take apart as anything else. In there. I think that's going to get our center cover off. Yeah. So there's that. Primer bulb is part of that. Let's see where we're at in terms of getting into the starter at this point. We're pretty much there. Wow, goes right into the cylinder head. That's inconvenient. Oh no, that's not right into the cylinder head. That's another piece. Also has torques underneath. This is going to be so much fun to get the right screw in the right hole after all of this is over with. It feels like it's pretty much off, but it also feels like it is at a significantly high risk of doing the springen. It's this stupid thing. All right, give me a minute to figure out what size that teeny tiny Torx is. Okay, that is a T8. That's ridiculous. Why? Why would you tie every piece of this machine together with a T8? I know the real answer to this. It's to keep curmudgeons like me from getting in here, but ugh. That sounds good. So I'm thinking this is probably pretty messed up if it's making noises like that. Yeah, see, so this has a spring inside, and the outer piece that has the rope compresses that spring so that when you overcome, you don't need any kind of compression release, especially on such a small engine, but when you overcome the spring pressure, or the compression pressure, it pops over a couple of times, and does so until this thing takes a crap, which it appears that it has done. It does not have any easy way to take this apart, but we do have this, and this is either going to get fixed or it's going to get replaced. So what do we have to lose? Let's try and weasel our way in here. That should be nice and easy. That doesn't spin. Keep in mind that there is a clock style spring in here, so as soon as this does get loose, it's going to go bing, at least unless we stop it somehow. This is going to be maddening to try and get apart, and probably fairly dangerous, but that's why I'm squinting my eyes. Jesus. There we go. Okay. Well, before we screw that up, let's grab these things. There was, I don't even know what that is. But let's see if we can convince these things to all come out. Nope. Oh, yep. Up. Yep, see. That's really bad. Yep, this is a one-time use device. This does not get taken apart and put back together. It's just not meant to do that. I'm trying to look for what broke, but I don't see what broke. A lot of times it's these tabs, but that seems to, this isn't broken, this spring is in one piece. Let's try and wangle that back together. So that's the secondary spring. Here's the primary spring. So maybe, I don't know, maybe we could wind this back together. It would be extremely painstaking, but might, oh, sorry, I'm sure that's making all sorts of great noises hitting the tripod. This may be worth trying to sort of, kind of get back working. If the alternative is a $20 starter, I might try and do this here. I'll either speed this up or take some video out, or I'm not sure. I'll just leave the camera rolling just so that there's evidence if I pass away. The stupid thing that I was doing while I was trying to fix a free string trimmer. This isn't even the funny part. The funny part is going to be when I get this all back together and actually do get it in this little holder, and then I'm going to put the spring in backwards. Watch. Mark my words. That is a Poly Speed Shop kind of thing to happen. I wouldn't know anything about putting, clutches in upside down, or the wrong way around, or putting torque converters in. Wow, this is getting very difficult. Putting torque converters in 90 degrees out. Uh-oh. 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 Yep. Yeah, this is... I'm even going to try this. I don't know why I'm trying this without actually looking at how this works, like where the outside goes. Oh Lord, I don't even know where it went in the case. Whether it was there or somewhere else. All right. Well, that was semi-fun, terrifying, but semi-fun, and ultimately, I am going to buy one of these assemblies and hope that it doesn't make that terrible noise. That is, if we can get this thing running, and I'm probably going to try and get this thing running before we do anything too overly crazy with this. Well, this is interesting. This might... Let me try and get you in. This is the other piece to the starter mechanism. The little fly-out pieces are actually on the fan, which is, I mean, terrible, because if we do end up having a problem and it wasn't in here and it was in here, I will have ordered a starter and not fixed the problem. But there isn't a whole lot to go wrong with these, it looks like. They're pretty flexible, and it seems like they were designed that way. So I'm gonna go ahead and move forward. I think what I might try and do is clear enough of this stuff away to where, now see that's got a hex in there? I'm probably going to try and start this thing. Okay, so I was going to try and turn this thing over before I went and bought parts for it, but this is pretty evil. There is a hex head on the end of this, but it's not a 5mm, or that's not a 5. It's not a 5mm, that's too small. It's not a 6mm, that's too big. Go figure. Okay, well, there is a tweener size that I had in my hex collection, which was what, 5/32, 7/32. That is also too big, and that's really all I had, even within the realm of reason for this thing. So good work, Troy-Bilt, on making a surprisingly proprietary hex here for being able to start this engine. It's kind of disappointing. I was hoping to hear it kind of, run up and die before, like I said, spending $40 or so on this thing. But it's not the end of the world. It's not a huge expense. This thing's free. We're playing around in here. So let's see where we're at after those parts come in. Catch you next time. All right, so as I clean up, I hope this has been fairly entertaining for you guys. The purpose that I'm trying to build this channel for is to partially document the kind of ridiculous and crazy things I end up doing in the garage. The things like this where I find something in the free pile and say, hey, it'd be interesting to bring it home and see how it works, and if I can fix it and either use it or sell it, cool. And if not, I still learned something. So that's really what I do here. I've got a bunch of projects. I've got similar, I brought this pressure washer and this pressure washer home together. This was last week there was another free pile string trimmer, another four stroke, and that had very, very few problems with it actually, and didn't seem to have a problem. I do have a somewhat long classic car, and we'll probably get into messing with this at some point. Today was pretty simple. I went for a drive and cleaned the seats. But this engine has been out. The transmission hasn't been touched yet, but lots and lots and lots of little things need love on this car. So we'll probably, if I keep doing this, you'll probably see quite a lot of this. But right now, this YouTube thing is sort of on a shoestring budget. It is the GoPro I already had, the time I have after work, and stuff that's either that I'm already working on, or stuff that I find for free or very little money on Craigslist or walking around. But anyway, I hope this was of some kind of entertainment factor. I'm open to suggestions, ideas, things I should try, things I should do differently, things I did well. But we'll see if this sticks. But thanks for hanging out in the garage with me for an evening, and I'll catch you next time.